and threw them in the ditch. No one can save you today except me. You know, the brothers now are getting ready to crucify him. No one can save you today, he said, except me. But I will not help you. Only after you do one thing. Rely in the Almighty Lord. Rely in your former, in your shaper, in the one that created you. Now, obviously this person is in a state of fear, scared. Extremely scared. So while in a state of fear, shivering, not knowing what's going on, he belied in his fashioner. He belied in Al-Malik Al-Quddus Al-Salam Al-Mu'min Al-Muhaymin Al-Jabbar Al-Mutakabbir. He belied in the one that blessed his limbs, who gave him his life, who all his life he prostrated to. But in the last second of his life, the last second, if not a minute of a second, he belied in him. Thus everything becomes vain, nothing. That 1 second destroyed all of that worship. All of that worship. As soon as he relied in Allah Ta'ala, what did the shaitan do? Crucify the brothers? No! He does not care about his death, his well-being. He ran like a swift wind. He ran from him. As the ayah says, كَمَثَلِ الشَّيْطَانِ إِذْ قَالَ لِلْإِنسَانِ أَكْفُرْ فَلَمَّا كَفَرَ قَالَ إِنِّي بَرِيءٌ مِنْكَ إِنِّي أَخَافُ اللَّهَ رَبَّ الْعَالَمِينَ. The likeness of the devil. He says to man, disbelieve, disbelieve, I will help you. But when he disbelieves, he will say, I am innocent from you. I fear Allah, Lord of mankind. So immediately when he belied his Lord, they crucified him. And that was his end. نسأل الله العافية. اللهم عنا من ذلك رب العالمين. As you can see, the step that Satan took with this person is a step-by-step approach. Small arrow, bigger, 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 until it destroyed him. An example of this is today, when you watch TV, you know what you're watching at first. When you first turn it on, when you first start watching TV, you may say, Astaghfirullah. So what do? You turn your face away from the television with that instinct inside you, I am disobeying Allah ya ta'ala. You see something haram on that evil screen, half-dressed lady, naked lady, you say, Astaghfirullah. Astaghfirullah, what makes you watch it anyway? But you say, Astaghfirullah, that's at first. And what happens after that? When you watch and watch and watch and watch and watch and watch, you become desensitized. You become immune. Oh, it's only a lady. There's no more Astaghfirullah. It's Tabarakallah. So it changes. Your mentality changes. Your thoughts change. Why? Did you not know? Because Satan has approached you and you've accepted him? Why? Because Satan has already struck you with that arrow. And it's found its mark, but you do not even realize it. We have become so accustomed to immorality, to indecency and obscenity, that we don't think novel. It's become a norm to us. Brothers and sisters, before you enter or you step into the theatre, the movie theatre, or a social function, or before you flip through the pages of the magazine or newspaper, or before you surf the net, or gaze upon the billboard or the posters, before you do any of that, or before you sit at night, as we all do, spend our evening on that satanic screen, ask yourself, am I going beyond the limits? Am I allowed to see this? Am I really in the hudud of Allah Ta'ala, the boundaries? Does He like this? Does He want me to see this? Is He accepting of this? If you do not ask yourself, nor do you care, you have been eaten and eaten by that Satan. the arrows are getting bigger and bigger, and you do not even realize. An example, which is a gross example, which was mentioned by our beloved brother Talal. He mentioned to me once, it is like the toilet, where if you are waiting for the toilet, someone's in the toilet, someone's before you, and they're doing their major job. It's gross, but it's very, very, very logical. Someone's waiting for the toilet. He's doing a major job. You can smell it from outside, to be more precise. And then he leaves the toilet. So when you enter the toilet, your hand is on the nose. You cannot bear the smell. You cannot stand the smell. You have to vomit, but you still got to do your job. So, slowly and slowly, while in that disgusting smell, what do? Becomes, it's not bad after all. You become immune. It desensitizes you. Wallahi, it's true. It becomes the norm, does it not? Becomes something, okay, not a problem. I can bear it now. But when you first initiated it, a'udhu billah, it's like an earthquake. But then slowly you become immune. This is exactly the same example of sin. Slowly, slowly, slowly you become immune to the surrounding that you are living in. That's like work, for example. How many of us go to work? At first, when he first started his job, he knows it's haram. He knows it's haram to mix with this lady, to touch this lady, to continuously look at this lady and talk to this lady. He knows it's haram. So he fears Allah Ta'ala, he's got some feeling there. But the more, becomes not a problem anymore. It becomes easy. The environment that we are living in, you go outside today, you go to any shopping complex. If you're a believer, you cannot leave your eyes looking upwards. If you're a believer, you'll be too scared to look upwards because there's nothing there but evil. But when you continuously do it and continuously do it, it's like a big deal. There's no more sort of concern. You don't care no more. This is a major, major problem. Wallahi, a major problem. But only those who think, who reflect, understand this. Realize, dear beloved, that Allah Ta'ala is watching you, seeing you, hearing you. The ramifications is extremely dangerous of the forbidden gaze. We know in a hadith collected by Bukhari that in the hereafter, when Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam ascended to the heavens, he accompanied whom? Jibreel and Mikael. He said, we went along until we got to a pit that looked like an oven, out of which we heard cries and screams from. So we approached this oven or this pit, glanced inside it, and we saw naked men and women who screamed when the flames from the below raised up high and touched them. And it took them up and up until they almost fell from this pit. But then it subdued the flame and they went back down. He said, Jibreel, who are these people who are going through this tormentation? He said, these are people who used to fornicate, commit adultery in the life of this world. Today, sex is portrayed in various forms, whether it's on your TV or the cinema or the magazine or newspaper or on the net. Look at the billboards, look at the posters, where images of sexuality is beyond control. Beyond control. There's no word for it. Sex has become a topic where advertisers, marketers are doing what? Are using most effectively to sell their product. It's a market. The woman has become merchandise. They are played with and sold as man pleasers. And they call this liberation. And this is corruption. Whenever you go between men, what do you hear? Conversations about sex. That's all you hear. When you go to the hair salon to get a haircut, the first thing you see in front of you is what? Magazines. and many times pornographic magazines.